Hi everyone, my name is Katja, I'm Cat Coloring, and a warm and huge welcome to my channel for both new and old subscribers. Today's video is a review video of the EVAZAR London 130 premium colored pencils. So this is actually very exciting. I only learned about these pencils and their existence a couple of days ago, and then I was so fortunate that I got them on a huge sale, or a very good sale, at least for me, because I saved a lot of money on them, but more about that later. But before we begin, I would like to remind you that you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, because some of the things I do end up there and not on YouTube. Also, if you want to be a part of keeping this channel running and supporting me in my channel here, you can consider becoming a channel member. You can watch the channel membership video, link is down in the description box. So, before we begin this review, grab a nice cup of coffee or a warm mug of tea, and let's get started with this review of the EVAZAR pencils. Okay, to start with the packing here, there are two options if you want the EVAZAR London coloring pencils. There is a 24 pack and it comes in a tin box, and then there is this pencil case with the 130 colored pencils. So how do you get a hold of them? Well, I actually heard about them from one of my coloring buddies or friends here on Instagram. Her name is Jen, and she lives in the UK, and she had posted a drawing that was absolutely amazing, and I asked her, but what coloring pencils did you use? And she said EVAZAR, and then I asked her about it, and she told me some things about them. And then I just let it simmer for a bit, and then I googled them last week. Actually, I think it was Thursday or Friday I googled them, and they have a web page, EVAZAR London's own web page. It's currently under maintenance, but they do have two links to where you can buy these pencils: Amazon US and Amazon UK. So if you go to the Amazon US, which I did as my first choice, you can get the 24 pack for $29.99. So roughly $30 for the 24 set. But the 130 set is not available on Amazon US. Okay, so I thought, well, I went to the Amazon UK. They had the 24 pack. It costs £24.99, so roughly £25. And they had the 130 pack. And their normal price is £69.99, so £70. But that day when I checked it, they had a limited sale with 60% off. And yes, you heard me correctly, 60% off. So they were price set to £23.32. So not even £24 for this set. So of course I had to buy it. So I ordered it and I got it today. It's actually today when I'm filming this, it's Tuesday the 17th of September. So it was really quick to arrive here in Denmark, I have to say, and I, as I said, saved 60%. So the complete total of what I paid for with the shipping and, the taxes, I paid, I think it was, just have to look at my receipt here, I paid £42.68. So not even £43 with everything. And the normal price is, as I said, almost £70. So that was really a bargain. I went to the page today and it's not on sale anymore. They don't have a featured offer for this on the Amazon UK. There was a link to one seller who sold them for this almost £70, but Amazon wouldn't, advertise for it because I didn't think that it met their requirements to a good price and all that. So I looked a bit further. You can get them on eBay UK. I would not recommend, because there I found a seller who wants 108.74 pounds, almost 109 pounds for the set. The set I paid 23 pounds for, and which, if you go to Amazon UK, the normal price would be 70 pounds. So 108. It was a good example of some of the horrendous prices on eBay. Then I did a little more research, and I found a US webpage called Biggermart that also sells them, and the price for the 130 set was $176.99. And that's also quite a huge price when you think that you give almost $25 for the 24 pack, and then double it up several times for the 130 pack. So if I were you, I would be watching Amazon UK for future deals on the 130 pencil sets if you are interested in these pencils. So that was something about the price. So for me, it was a great bargain. And to the normal price, I don't think that I would have bought them. But since the price was so cheap, I thought, why not? And you can hear, well, collecting things also becomes an issue when you are a colorist. So the pencil case here, it says EVAZAR London. And we have this, we just remove it, cardboard here around it, where you can see an eye here drawn, of course, with the pencils and colored with them. You can see all of the colors here, and they give you an idea about the color range in these pencils. I can certainly see they have a ton of green colors and also quite a lot of the purple colors, but not quite as many yellow. I can only see 2 or 3 yellows and some blue colors. So if you like green colors, as I do, well, I think this is very good. Then on one of the sides, we have a QR code you can scan. And then you can join the EVAZAR Club here. You can win prizes and so on. I am a bit skeptical because I know from Castle Art that they are only concerned about the UK market in the UK and the US market in the US. And that means that people from other countries cannot join these clubs and win something. Of course, you can join them, but you won't win because you live in another country. I haven't examined this yet, but I am skeptical because a lot of these coloring pencil brands usually just want the home audience, if you can say the home buyers, to get involved in these clubs here. Then it says soft core colored pencils. Artist quality, you know, all of this commercial stuff. And it says smooth coloring, layer down, and superb blending and shading. We will see this when we begin testing, blah, blah, blah. And on the back side, we can still see here the colors. We can see they are made in with a British company, designed in London, United Kingdom. We have some Mark 1 tree planted.org reforestation partner. So they are made from sustainable wood, these pencils. And some info who has produced them, EVAZAR, and something about EVAZAR London, about these planting, reforestation and planting trees and stuff. So that was it. And now you can see it's a very practical pencil case. You can even take it with you and carry it around. And now we open it, and here we have these pencils. We also have a swatch chart here for the 130 pencils. You can see here that it's white, and we have the color number and then the color name here. So it starts with the black, I can see, turns to the white and the cream, ivory, and then moves on through all of the colors. So that's a nice addition. Actually, I would rather use my own, but it's nice to have, you know, to put in here. And here with the pencil case, you can see that we begin here. We have several layers here of pencils. Here on this side you can see that the lead of the pencil has actually gotten off here on the inside of this pencil case, so we can see the colors. Then we have a note here about EVAZAR London, proud partner with all of this one tree planted again. Begins here with some of the ochre and yellow colors, peach colors. So they are in the same color order, I can see already now, like the swatch chart. With this rich black and onyx and white and clotted cream and ivory and all that. Certainly looks like it. Then we have the red colors, orange, we have pink colors, more purple, a couple of blues actually. That was a bit weird. We have this color, phthalo red, and then a couple of blues before the purples continue. Then a pink. Then more blue colors and turquoise and teal, green colors, then some blues, again green colors, and then the brown, and a couple of green colors again, and a gray green and slate gray, and the gray colors. Okay, I can understand this one perhaps, but two green colors in the middle of the brown colors, that's a bit weird. So I actually think that I want to place these in another color order than they are from EVAZAR's when you buy them. You can see the color from these blues has also smeared a bit off here on the fabric. Hope you can see it. We have some blue colors here and also here. Okay, so there is certainly color pigment in these pencils, we can see. So much that it's almost too much. So if we just remove one of the pencils, we can see it says lavender blue, and then we have the number here. So it's a round pencil, and it's actually not that thin. It has a good size. Reminds me of my polychromas. I have a Prismacolor here. It was one of the barrel Prismacolors, and you can see here that the EVAZAR is, this EVAZAR is a bit thicker than the Prismacolor. It says that they have a 3.8 millimeter in diameter here. And then we have the coating here on the pencil. They are completely coated, so we can't see the end. We can't see if they are centered. It looks fine enough. You can see that they are pre-sharpened, but the tip is blunt, so I will have to sharpen them. Oil-based. And they should be very pigmented, and they should be absolutely brilliant, so I have been told, and so I have read, with blending and shading, and they should also be quite soft. I don't think that they are Prismacolor soft, but softer than a lot of other wax-based pencils, like the Staedtlers. They are actually quite hard. They are not soft, not even the ErgoSoft. So that was the pencils. Let's sharpen them and begin swatching them and testing them.
The EVAZAR pencils are now swatched, and I think perhaps that you noticed during the swatching that even though I sped it up, you could see that I had to wipe the dust off quite a few times. I'm not quite worried about that because I am using some cheap printing paper for these color charts. So if I printed it out on some thicker quality paper, I think that the result would have been quite something else. So I will have to wait until I use the pencils in my coloring books before I can say anything definitive about this. But let's take a look at the colors. As you can see here, very beautiful and very pigmented colors. I also hope that you noticed during the swatching that the colors came down really easy on the paper. I think they are very pigmented. And you can see here we don't have a lot of yellows, at least not the light yellows. So we have some more yellow oranges here, some skin colors, and some nice pink colors. I have to say that I do think that some of the pink colors are very similar. There is only a slight difference between peony pink, bubblegum pink, and flamingo pink. This is a bit darker than the rest of them, and this is a bit lighter, but there's only a slight color difference between these three, and also the French fuchsia and cerise here, and also the cherry pink. They are almost the same color. The French fuchsia just a little bit lighter than the other two colors, but quite the same. So this actually reminds me of the Castle Art Pencils 120 Soft Touch, where we have a lot of colors that are, well, very similar. If you want to watch my review about the Castle Arts 120, you can find it on my channel, and I will also link it down in the description box. Okay, but if we look at the reds, we don't have that many reds. We have rose red, which is, well, perhaps with a little tint of orange. I don't know. Perhaps. Then lava red, and then we have some darker reds here. But we have a very nice purple range, I have to say. It was also not that easy to swatch them because I had to put them in a very different order than from the swatch chart. This is the filled out swatch chart that came with the pencils here. You can see here that the colors are, you can see here, for example, the slate gray, which is actually a purple blue color, is down with the grays and also the green grays. And it doesn't really make any sense
to have them here. We have the butternut over here, but in reality it's in the same color family as the camel and the caramel and the cinnamon over here. So and then we have some more turquoise teal like colors over here amongst the green colors. So it's quite a mess actually, I have to say. So it took me actually a couple of hours to put them in this color order here. You can also see that I am really impressed by the blue range here. There are so many nice blue colors, and also here in the more aquamarine like colors, and also the turquoise and teal colors. So I have to say I'm really impressed by the range of the green colors and the blue and the purple violet colors. I think that they are very impressive, these EVAZARs, with all of these beautiful colors that they offer. One color in particular I like is the sapphire here. It's such a very nice blue color. Very beautiful. Very bright actually also. And also the berry purple here and mythical purple. Very nice colors indeed. And you can also see here on this page with the green colors and the brown colors, we have some very nice light colors and then middle and darker colors. So where the castle arts are more, either it's dark colors and a few light colors, I think that we have a more varied range here of colors here with the EVAZAR pencils. You can see here with the turquoise we have both the light and the darker, and then we move on to the teal where we also have a deep teal, a very dark teal color. Then we have some more minty colors, and then we have the bright green colors here and the more mossy and chartreuse lime peel colors over here. I have to say that I am really impressed. And then the color names, British Racing Green. It's an amazing name, I have to say. I've never heard it before. Seaweed green cactus. Parakeet green. This is a very bright, nice green color. Beautiful, really beautiful. And also the brown colors over here. I am also quite impressed because I do think that we have the sort of red brownish colors over here with the burnt orange and tawny brown and russet. So instead of color names as sienna brown and burnt ochre, we have these colors, very beautiful. And you can see here ranging from light to darker colors until we reach the dark chocolate. But also over here with some more light brown colors. So what we lack in, for example, the Prismacolor Premier set, we actually have here. We have some very nice light brown colors here with the butternut, camel, and cinnamon. You can almost say this was a sort of a dark ochre, ochre-like color. But I really have to say I am really impressed by the colors here in this EVAZAR set. Do you know, I don't really like gray colors, and you can see here we have some, what I would say, the cool gray colors, the gray cloud, window gray, Nichols gray, charcoal gray, and Payne's gray. And then we have 3 warm gray colors, elephant gray, top gray, and carbon gray. So, and also, so not that many gray colors, like the Prismacolors, for example, but also very representative. We have light and middle colors and darker colors in both the warm gray and the cool gray color range here. And then we have 2 black colors, onyx and rich black. And you can see the onyx here is actually really sort of a warm black, if you could say that. It's really beautiful. And then we have a lovely black color here. So the first impression of these pencils is very positive. They are highly pigmented, go down really easy, also on this cheap printing paper, and a very beautiful and doable color range. You can use this for a lot, and as I use green and blue colors and the most, and then purple and pinks. I have to say I'm really satisfied. It doesn't matter to me that I don't have that many yellow colors, for example, and not that many red colors, because to be quite frank, I don't use those colors as much as I do with green and blue colors, and also purple. So I am very satisfied for now with this, and they are also very nice to hold the pencils when you color with them. So let's put them to the test. Let's see how they perform here in 3 different coloring books on 3 different kinds of papers. First test is of course here in Johanna Basford's Den Magiske Jungle, Magical Jungle, and on this page with all of the leaves where I usually test my new coloring pencils. So I have tested Black Widows and Castle Arts and you name it, I've tested it here. So let's pick a leaf, and why not take one of these big ones here? So I think that I would like to, actually inspired by this leaf, I want to try some of the purple colors here. And also this brings me to another thing that I discovered when I swatched them, the name of the pencils. Because here I have 3 coloring pencils, a light and a middle and a dark. And perhaps you notice the names here on the pencils. I can bring them here up. Oh, it will zoom in here. It says lavender blue, lilac, lavender blue. But you can clearly see that the 2 lavender blues are really 2 different colors. This is truly lavender blue. This should, I think, have been called lavender violet or something, because it is a violet purple color here. The color names, of course, are also different. Here it says EZ066 with the lavender blue, which is blue. And here it says lavender blue EZ049. But I do think that this one should have been named another color name, actually. Because when you are in a hurry and you think, oh, lavender blue, then which ones of these will you get? Well, enough about that. So I will begin coloring. And I actually think that I want the dark color to be here on the outside. So I will begin with the lightest color. A bit weird, perhaps, but nevertheless, all the leaves can't be the same. And as you know, I don't know how many layers is necessary, so I will just color in a few of these. You can see here I have a light pressure, and perhaps also a bit lighter than I'm used to. And you can see the color goes down very nicely on this white paper here in this Johanna Basford book. I will now take the lilac and add a bit more color here. Still goes down very nicely, smooth actually. You can also see that we can see quite a lot of the white of the paper here, because this is just a light layer, this first layer. And where other pencils, we have a little bit of pencil dust there, where other pencils usually, make lines or something, it's like these pencils are just smushy and soft. And then a layer of this dark color. I just have to say that just by this one layer here, they do seem very soft. Not Prismacolor soft, but actually quite soft. And you can also see that they hold the tip quite nicely. You know, if this was Prismacolor, I would have to sharpen them any other moment, but these really do hold the point quite a lot. So you don't have to sharpen them as much. Reminds me of the polychromos actually. They also hold the point quite a bit. So one layer can still see the white of the paper quite a lot, but I actually think that we got, despite of that, quite a nice coverage, and you can see the colors are already here beginning to blend into each other. You know, there are some coloring, I can't even remember what which pencils were this leaf. I know this was Black Widows, and you can see the transitions if you go close. You can see the transitions between the colors. You know, not all wax-based pencils blend equally well. I think that the Black Widows are actually quite okay at blending, but not like Prismacolor, let me say that. But I do think that they are, but you can still see the transition. If you look here, the transition is not nearly as sharp as with this leaf, for example. Amazing. Okay, but we continue because one layer wasn't enough. So let's say that this leaf was the one layer. Then we add a second layer over here. And the lilac here, and the other lavender blue here. Actually, these three colors go really nicely. So I will just, because I think that we are going to have quite a few layers here before we can say the tooth of the paper is filled here. So I will just add the second layer to these two also. And you can see I can actually begin blending here. Doesn't matter. It's certainly not a hard transition line as with some of these other leaves here. Okay, so we can see a difference between the first layer and the second layer here, and we can still see some of the white of the paper through this. But I have to say that especially the dark color gets more vivid here with the second layer. I don't think that you can see that much of a difference with the light color here, the lavender blue, which is blue here, between the first and second layer, but you can see it with the purple lavender blue here at the sides. And also, I think, a bit of the lilac here. And you can clearly see now how the colors really just blend into each other. It's not like this. These were the Castle Art Soft Touch, which I had to layer down, I think, 8 or 9 times, and you can still see the transition there. It was quite a struggle. So 1 layer, 2 layers, let's get a third layer here and up here. So the third layer, and I don't know why there is a line here which keeps being white. It's a bit of a mystery. No, Perhaps I did something on the other side. I don't think I have. So, the third layer of the purple, lavender blue, and now you can begin to see a difference here. So, the first layer here with 2 layers and 3 layers, and we can see now the blue of the lavender blues really begin to show off as a blue. We can see the lilac much more clearly, and also the purple of the lavender blues out here. Even more so from the second to the third layer, we can see a difference. We can also see that we can still see some of the white of the paper, but it's getting more covered. So, first layer, or 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers, the 4th layer I will now apply here. Okay, so now the difference I think is quite clear. 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers. So if I bring it up close, you can see that the 4th layer here, practically all of the white of the paper is left, but it feels different when I color now. It feels like the tooth of the paper is sort of satisfied, so I will not be adding a 5th layer. I simply think that 4 layers is more than enough here. Perhaps go with 3 layers. Also depending on how hard you press, of course. But now, this time, I really didn't press that hard. I had kept a light pressure all the way through. So I think that 3 layers should be enough here. And 4 layers, a maximum here. So that was a Johanna Basford book. So let's go on to another coloring book. Testing in Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. My test page is here, and as you can see, it's almost full here of the different coloring pencils I have tested. So I think we should take some green colors this time and test them. So I have here 3 different green colors. Hope that it will zoom in, or I can just take it down here. Lime green, parakeet green, and basil green. So this parakeet green, it's simply such a joyful name, and I really want to try it out. So, and you can see here that this color just lays down smoothly on the paper. And this paper is a bit thicker than in Johanna Basford's book. And it's also got a creamy tone to it, a little bit of creamy tone. So it's not completely white, as in the Magical Jungle. Nice and smooth, this green color. It's like I'm actually quite forgetting that I'm supposed to see how many layers we need, because it's such a joy to use this pencil here. Okay, so it lays down very smoothly on the paper. So let's take the lime green here. And we have so many flowers, so let's start by coloring here. I will just give it 1 layer of this lime green. And to be quite frank, hope you can see it. And also the stem here, it's almost covered with just 1 layer. I mean, literally. Perhaps there's a little bit of white here, but I'm not quite sure that I actually did it completely up towards the edges. Let me just take this one. No, it really covers. Let's take the dark one here. Let's just cover this leaf and also this one. And this is the basil green. I don't think I have ever experienced this. Hardly any white with only one layer. Let's just try this one. No, I'm completely stunned. One layer, and you don't need to, I will just try this one, just one last try here. Okay, one layer, and then I add a second layer. So the color do enhance, but it's really not necessary. Take a look at this. One layer, two layers. You don't have to have a second layer unless you really want that color to go down. I don't think I have ever experienced this in this book on this paper, that one layer is quite sufficient to cover it. Wow. So that was a really quick test here in Maria Trolle. This book, this paper here, doesn't require a lot of layering with the EVAZAR pencils. You can have one layer and that's actually quite sufficient. And if you really want the color to shine through, you can add a second layer, but it's really not necessary. I think that was the shortest test I have ever done. Well, onwards to the third book. Let's test them for a third time in seasons. And since I hardly got to use my green, I will still be using my green colors here on this test page. So still lime green and parakeet green and basil green. And then I will just add two pink colors, or pinkish, French fuchsia and cherry pink. So a middle color and a darker color. Okay, so here, up here in this corner, we have this flower. So I will just get it down here. Okay, so let's try to test the green here on the leaves. So I will just color this sort of stem. Perhaps it should have been brown, but never mind. So let's just put some color down here. So let's take this as one layer, two layer, three layer, four layers, if that's necessary. So I will actually just give it one layer. And I have to say, I know it sounds a bit scratchy, perhaps you can hear the sound, but it doesn't feel scratchy. So smooth, lay down in Magical Jungle and Twilight Garden. And here I have to admit it sounds scratchy. It actually doesn't feel scratchy to me. So if I bring it up here, you can see these three leaves. You can still see the white of the paper shining through. And also here on the stem, even though I pressed a bit harder here just to lay down the color, there is still. So one layer is not enough in this book on Hannah Carlson book paper. Okay, so let's try again and say, okay, this is one layer. Let's add a second layer here. On these two leaves. And here you can see the difference. here and here and here, I have to admit it's not that big of a difference. You can see the white of the paper is not as obvious here in these two leaves, which has they have gotten the second layer compared to this one with only one layer. But they are only just a tad darker. And it's not much of the white of the paper you can see here. So I am wondering, let's add a third layer here. Okay, so here you can clearly see the difference between 1, 2, and 3 layers. 1 layer, still a lot of the white shining through. 2 layers, I have to admit, a really nice coverage of the paper. Still some white shining through. And you can see with the third layer, you can hardly see the white of the paper. The color has really just come down on the paper. And when you touch it here with the finger, it feels different than the other 2 leaves. And if I took my pencil and tried, I can't get any more color down. The tooth is simply saturated with 3 layers of these EVAZAR pencils. So they are really, really good with the layering here. You don't have to add a lot of layers with the EVAZARs, no matter what paper you use them on, because they have such a good coverage. So let's just, because I really want to try the pink ones, let's just try to color some flowers here. And you can see here in the middle of the flowers with the cherry pink covers so nicely here. And just color a couple of the flowers. So 1 layer, let's say this is 1. Let's take 2 layers with the rest. And if I was bold enough to add a third layer here, and now I'm really pushing it, a third and a fourth layer here, you can clearly see that you don't need more than 2 layers. A third and a fourth is actually too much. So 2 layers, I would say, in this book on Hanna Karlzon paper. And that's more than enough to cover this paper and add a lovely color to these drawings. So to conclude this review of the EVAZAR 130 premium colored pencils, well, I would have to say I am actually quite impressed with these pencils. I bought them a bit on a whim, and because they were on sale and I could save a lot of money. And I have not regretted buying these pencils. They are very nice to hold in your hand. They are very easy to sharpen. They don't break when you sharpen them. And they hold the tip for quite a while compared to the, for example, Prismacolors, where you have to sharpen them all the time. They kind of remind me of the polychromos, actually. They are very good with these, like these harder pencils, to hold the tip, but they lay down way more smoothly than the polychromos, actually a bit more like Prismacolors. They lay down very smooth. They are so pigmented. They are very easy to work with. And as you can see from the test in the different coloring books, 3 layers in Johanna Basford in her books, 2 layers in Hanna Karlzon books, 1 layer in Maria Trolle books. Well, it really doesn't get easier than that, I have to say. 130 beautiful colors, especially a lot of blue and greens and purple colors. And the pricing, well, I wouldn't just rush out and buy them right now. I would wait until they are on a sale, and I have been told that they are on sale frequently. So wait until a sale, you can save some money. And then if you really see them on a sale and you can save money, I would really recommend buying these. They are very easy to work with. You don't have to be an experienced colorist to use these pencils and get a lot out of them. You can also start using them when you are a beginner. So EVAZAR London, wow. Really, really nice wax-based pencils. Soft, smooth, vibrant colors. So beautiful in the coloring books. I have to say that's an A+ from me to these pencils. Thank you so much for watching this review. I hope that you got a lot out of it and it gave you an impression of these EVAZAR coloring pencils so that you know a lot about them before you invest in them. As I said before, wait until they are on sale, and then I would have to say I think that they are a very, very good investment, these EVAZAR coloring pencils, whether you are a beginner or an experienced colorist. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video to support the channel and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So I hope to see you in one of my upcoming videos. Have a very nice day. Take care of yourself. Happy coloring. Bye.